students, in the previous slide we have seen the first part of understanding quadrilateral for class 8. In continuation of that very slide, I am again here sharing with you the second part of quadrilateral. So just to recapitulate the previous ideas that we have seen, polygon and its classification. Regarding that, we'll now focus more on polygon of four sides, which is commonly known as quadrilateral. So we will discuss today the details of quadrilateral. As you know, student, quadrilateral is a closed figure or polygon of four sides. It has four sides, namely AB, BC, CD, DA of a quadrilateral ABCD. It has four angles also: angle A, angle B, angle C, and angle D. Four vertices: vertex A, vertex A, vertex B, vertex C, and vertex D. One common property is quadrilateral is if we add the angles of a quadrilateral, definitely I am telling about interior angles. So if we add all these four angles of a quadrilateral, then it is always 360 degree, that is four right angles. This is called angle sum property of quadrilateral. In a similar way, as in your last class you have seen that in a triangle the sum of all three angles is 180 degree, which is called angle sum property of triangle. Similarly, in case of quadrilateral, the sum of all four angles is always 360 degree. This is called angle sum property of a quadrilateral. This can be proved also just by drawing one diagonal, by joining one diagonal of a quadrilateral. It will divide into two triangles, and now adding the all three angles of each triangle, since there are now two triangles, so sum will be 180 plus 180, that is 360. Okay, student. Now come to the classification. You know, if anything, when its number becomes more and more, the classification is needed. Since quadrilateral, which is a four-side closed figure, no doubt, so it is of different types. All are quadrilaterals, all are made by four sides, all are closed figure. So to make a proper study, it is required here to classify them so that we may study about each type of quadrilaterals in details. So let us classify the quadrilateral, that is types of quadrilateral or classification of quadrilateral. First of all the quadrilaterals have been classified into three categories. One is trapezium, another is kite, and third is parallelogram. Just let us see each type of these quadrilaterals, how they will be defined. First, trapezium. First, this one. So here you see for trapezium ABCD, below the figure it is written that only one pair of opposite sides is parallel, as it is shown here, AD parallel to BC, whereas another pair of opposite side AB is not parallel to DC. So, student, a quadrilateral whose one pair of opposite side is parallel, better to say only one pair of opposite side is parallel, then it is trapezium. Another category is kite, where upper two adjacent sides AB and AD are equal, and the lower pair of adjacent sides BC and DC are also equal. And if we join its diagonals, then horizontal diagonal as shown in the figure BD is bisected by vertical diagonal AC at right angle. So kite is what? Such quadrilateral whose upper pair and lower pair of adjacent sides are equal and horizontal diagonal is bisected by vertical diagonal at right angle. Now come to parallelogram. Parallelogram is the most important categories of quadrilateral family. It is the quadrilateral whose both pairs of opposite sides are parallel and equal. Here you see AD parallel to BC, one pair of opposite side, and again AB parallel to DC, the other pair of opposite sides. It means both pairs of opposite sides are parallel. Such a quadrilateral known as parallelogram. Since parallelograms are again in more numbers, having different design shape, so again it is needed to classify parallelograms into different categories. So now come to this parallelogram. Parallelogram is divided into three different categories. One is known as rhombus, another is rectangle, and the third one is square. Now, student, see here, all these three, namely rhombus, rectangle, and square, they are basically a parallelogram. So, they are the member of this family, parallelogram. Obviously, all these are the member of quadrilateral family. All are quadrilateral. But here we have to remember these things, that a parallelogram becomes a rhombus when its two adjacent sides are equal. So if any two adjacent sides are equal, which ultimately means all the four sides are equal, then such parallelogram whose all four sides are equal, that parallelogram is called rhombus. That parallelogram is called rhombus. So rhombus is defined how? A parallelogram whose any two adjacent sides equal, or you can say a parallelogram whose all four sides are equal. Okay, student. Now come to the second category. It is the parallelogram whose each angle is 90 degree. So this is called rectangle. So rectangle is what? Rectangle is that parallelogram whose each angle is 90 degree. Okay. Now the third one is, it is the most important group category of whole the quadrilateral family. It is called a square. See, first of all, it is a parallelogram. Number one, since it comes from parallelogram family. Second, it is rhombus also. Why? As a rhombus has two adjacent side equal, this figure square has also two adjacent side equal. If you say rhombus, in other words, that it has all four sides equal, In the similar way, you can say square is that parallelogram whose all four sides are equal. So it possesses the properties of rhombus also. So square is previously a parallelogram and now it is rhombus also. Again we compare the square with this rectangle. You see, in square there is also each angle 90 degree like rectangle. It means it possesses the property of rectangle also. It means the square is rectangle also. So, how to find this square? That a square is such a parallelogram which has each angle 90 degree and whose any two adjacent sides are equal, that is all four sides are equal, called such a parallelogram called square. So student, pay attention here. It is very important to understand that a square is also a rhombus, but converse may not be true. A rhombus not necessarily a square, but a square is always a rhombus because it possesses the rhombus properties of rhombus. But a rhombus not necessarily a square because rhombus doesn't have all the properties of square. Similarly, we can say a square is also a rectangle because it possesses the property of rectangle. But again, converse is may not be true. A rectangle may not be a square because rectangle doesn't possess all the properties of a square, while a square possesses the properties of rectangle. So square is a rhombus also, square is a rectangle also, and basically all these three, rhombus, rectangle and square, all are parallelogram. Now if we compare a square with other figure, then it acts like that because it has the property of almost all type of quadrilateral it possesses. Okay students, so I think this concept will help you in answering the NCERT last exercise where different reasoning questions are given and all can only be answered if you possess this classification. If you get the clear concept of this classification, then only that what are the different types, what are their different types, each type having different properties, what are similarity between two figures in their properties, and what are difference between two figures regarding their properties, then only you can answer all the reasoning type of questions. Now just discussing in continuation of parallelogram, we see the properties of parallelogram. So in the adjacent figure, you see this figure, a parallelogram, as earlier you have defined that such a quadrilateral whose both pairs of opposite sides are parallel and equal. So for this parallelogram ABCD, we just list its all properties. First one is both pair of opposite sides are parallel, that is AD parallel to BC and AB parallel to CD. Second point, both pair of opposite sides are equal, that is AD equal to BC and AB equal to CD. Third properties is both pair of opposite angles are equal, that is angle A equal to angle C and angle B equal to angle D. Fourth property is the sum of any two adjacent angles is 180. That is, if we add angle A and B, I mean angle A plus angle B equal to angle B plus angle C equal to angle C plus angle D equal to angle D plus angle A, means sum of any two adjacent angle all are equal to 180. And the fifth one is, in a parallelogram, diagonal bisect each other. That is, AC bisect BD, while BD when passes, it bisects AC. So we say diagonals bisect each other. That is, AO equal to OC and BO equal to OD. So these are the 5 important properties for a parallelogram, which is required while you will solve any numerical question, any reasoning question related to parallelogram, which is given in a NCERT book. One exercise is fully related with these properties of parallelogram. So hope all students they have got clear ideas about understanding quadrilateral. So students, don't forget to comment, share, subscribe, and give your valuable suggestion. Thanking you. We will meet again in the next video. Thanking you. It's have a nice